Hi, and thank you for joining me for today's video on weight loss, fat loss, or changing your current body composition to those targets. Now, this is a big subject that is going to get into what works for you, different nutrition regimes, habits and systems to put into place, weightlifting, cardio, different activities that fit your lifestyle, and what fitness level you're at as they all change the level of what is needed to continue to advance. Today I want to speak to the mind, body, and soul. It all plays an equal important role into achieving results. Today's video is going to target the person that is starting out or restarting, or has done so many fad diets and tried so many things, but as soon as they get the weight off, they're putting the weight back on because they haven't learned the systems to put into place through these steps to start to get further progress long term and to be able to sustain that progress. Now, many women will approach me saying, I want that fit and toned look, but I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get bulky. We will get into that subject in a future video, but one of the things that I'm going to tell you that women need in order to change their body composition is lifting weights, is resistance training, resistance bands, putting your body under resistance and push-ups, squats, lunges, contracting those muscles and making them work. Now, the older we get, the harder it gets. Again, many different subjects to talk about, so let's back it up a little bit. In today's video, we're going to talk about nutrition, systems and habits to put into place to get you started so that when it's time for you to get into cardio, get into exercise regimes, into working out, that you're ready to sustain those because you've cleaned up the area at which nutrition is involved. So I'm going to start. There's many eating regimes that you can look to. There's keto diet, there's carb cycling, there's macronutrients, so flexible dieting, there's meal plans, there's intermittent fasting, there's all this stuff. And it's where do we start? What do I do? We're going to start with simple. One, let's dial in your nutrition. Let's teach you habits and systems to put into place so that you can get that progress going by setting yourself up for success. When we build habits and systems, we now have what we need in place to continuously just have our brain doing these things without them feeling like extra work for us. Because we can't out-train a bad diet or eating too much. We can't, without that knowledge, no matter how much we work out, we could stay stuck in the same place. So let's change that. Now, with nutrition, with my clients that start out, I do not guarantee a one-size-fits-all nutrition world because we're all very different. But I do believe when you're a beginner, keeping it simple. I highly believe in starting with a meal plan. The reason that I recommend a meal plan to start is it gives you focus and commitment to a specific way of eating. It also builds habits for your stomach and brain to communicate, to have breakfast, to have a snack, to have lunch, to have a snack, to have dinner. And it starts to build those cues and those habits that long-term you will sustain, which in turn means keeping your results, or knowing how to quickly dial them back in and never really getting that far off track because you've made this a part of who you are. Our systems and practices that we put in place are not just about our body, they're about our mind and our soul. So we have to be very real about how we set ourselves up. Because if we only focus on the physical side of results, then when we don't see them, we're going to ask why we're doing it and then we're just going to give up. You need a practice and system in place because long-term means slow progress, big results over time. So it might kind of do this, but as long as you're doing the right steps, you're always going to lead up in the right direction. That chart over time takes time, but it's always ends up above where it used to be. That is the kind of progress you want. Now, why I start with a meal plan I've mentioned is it lays out the meals. Not everyone's a breakfast person, not everyone's a snack person, not everyone. You don't have to be a breakfast person. We can build this in to how your journey starts. But I do suggest maybe your breakfast is at 10 a.m. as a snack time instead of at 5 or 6 a.m. when other people are eating breakfast. So we just have to design that to you. The reason a meal plan is it helps you to stay on track. It gives you a visual track to follow. It lays it all out. It keeps it simple. It doesn't have to be restrictive, overly restrictive. You have to ask yourself, one, what do you want more? Do you want to eat junk food and achieve your goal? Or do you want to be able to eat a little bit of fun foods and that kind of stuff, but be able to feel really good so that you have the clarity, you have the energy, you have everything else you need to keep you on that target? Because if you don't feel good, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for you to climb that ladder to results and progress. So now you understand why I start people off with a meal plan. You heard me say that it's not overly restrictive, because it doesn't have to be. We build something for you. You find someone to work with that can build you a meal plan that has some wiggle room with the foods that you like so that you feel it's enjoyable. So now we've covered, we want to build habits and systems for your body by your brain and your stomach talking and getting used to reaching for that food and feeding yourself at regular times. We've kept your eyes on a visual to follow so that it's not as easy for you to get off track and start looking for all the other things to fill in your day, to start to eat. Not necessarily the wrong things, but too much of the processed foods in general just leave you not feeling well. Then we've dialed in now. It's not overly restrictive. That's fabulous. So with the person that you work with to design your meal plan, you go over the foods that you like and now you make it fun. So now we've also got more enjoyable in line. 3 things that are already going to lead you to better success. Then the next step is you're going to go into your kitchen. Your first job after hiring somebody, coming up with that meal plan, you both look it over, you feel good about it because they're here to work with you, not against you, and you're ready to go. The next step you're going to do is clean your kitchen. I'm not saying you have to throw out everything that your kids like and this and that, but I am saying that you want to keep that stuff in different cupboards in different ways in your kitchen, because we have to change the system and habit that you currently have to be something different so you can embrace the new. Getting your mind and body building new habits for your new systems to achieve your results. So in your kitchen, what you're going to do when you clean it, this is your fridge, your freezer, your cupboards, and you'll feel good because you'll have that accomplishment of a clean kitchen when it's over, is you want to do a few things. You're going to move your fruits, your veggies, and all that stuff to sight. You're going to put water in the fridge where you can see it, or on the counter beside the fridge, whether it's water bottles, whatever it is, you want it in plain sight when you open up the fridge or you open up that cupboard, whatever, that you see it so you're more likely to grab it. You're going to want those veggies and fruits in the same place. First, put the processed stuff to the back. Everything that's harder to get is going to be less likely for you to grab. So the ice cream in the freezer, you're going to put it underneath stuff at the bottom, and you're going to put the meats and the other stuff that you need more on top. You're going to send the kids to the freezer to grab what you need. You're going to, unless it's above your fridge, but you see where I'm going with this. You want to structure yourself for success. You're going to put a basket of fruit on your counter. If you had cookies usually out on your counter and bags of chips and junk food, you've got to get them off the counter, out of sight, in the cupboard, in the back. Harder to reach. The reason for this is we have 11 million sensory systems, okay? Taste, smell, touch, sight, hearing. Now, most, 10 million of those are in your eyes. So regardless of what your current goals are, if you see this stuff, it's naturally going to drive you to it because your eyes play such a huge role in your sensories. That's why, for example, you can definitely relate to this. When you go to a store, they have the aisles before the cash now. Because while you're standing there and you're looking at stuff, you end up picking up things that you didn't even go in for. Things that are the hotter sale items that they want to sell more of, they keep kind of at that eye level because you're going to see them, you're more likely to buy them. You're going to treat your fridge, your freezer, and your cupboards no different. You've got to set yourself up for a win. Awesome. Now this is done. The next thing you're going to do, sorry, I'm getting cold, I'm going to put my sweater on, is you're going to, get your meal plan out, and you're going to put it in a place you're going to see it, whether that's on a clipboard, on the counter, whether that is on a magnet at eye level, on the freezer or fridge. You're going to keep it where it's in your visual track. Next thing you're going to do is you need something that inspires you. So if there's a pair of jeans, you'll always hear this kind of stuff like pull that dress out, get that pair of jeans out. The reason for that isn't necessarily to have an item motivate you, but it will, whatever speaks to you. So if there's been something that fired you up to wanting to achieve this and get started, you want to look at what those were. Was it the pair of jeans you went to put on and you couldn't get up? Get them on a hanger, clip it, set it where you're going to see it every day. Don't put it back in the closet. Have them hanging in your room. If you're OCD clean, you got to get over it. You need something as a visual. Take a picture of the pants, put it on the freezer. Who cares what people think? It's your goal. Take a screenshot of it, put it on your screen, on your phone, or the most inspiring saying that says something to you, or that dress, or find out what lit that up for you, that reason that made you want to do this, and that's going to be the driver for you. I have people that are, I got into those ski pants I couldn't get on this year. I'm finally back into them. That's awesome. That motivates them. We are human beings and we're motivated by results. But the thing is when we don't see results, we can deter back. So that's why we're putting these systems and habits in place, but then setting out that goal, being specific about what our long-term achievement is, regardless of how long it takes, is for us to get to. Next, we're going to set up things that show us some results. We want to take pictures. You're going to take pictures, and I know you don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. I put them away on my phone. I didn't look at them for a really long time because I didn't want to see myself, okay? The thing is it's a huge part of the journey, and when the measuring tape and the scale doesn't show us results that we want to see, pictures do. It's a beautiful thing. And you need to learn to love yourself for your body. You need to love those stretch marks. I have them. It's okay. You need to love those rolls regardless, because even though you can get fit and toned, I can still stand to the side and I can still squeeze belly fat. I can complain about it or I can brace it. I still have cellulite. It is the way it is. The more you see yourself, maybe the more you'll like yourself. I sure hope so. So you're going to take pictures. You're going to stand, I would recommend, in your home door frame. You're going to close the door and you're going to stand in front of it. Here's pictures, for example. And you're going to do these positions so that you get a clear view on every side. You're going to do this before you start. Then you're going to take measurements of your body. You're going to take a measurement of one thigh. You're going to take a measurement of one bicep, noting whether it was your right side or your left side, so you do the same side every week. You're going to take measurements with your feet together around the widest part of your hips. You're going to take measurements of your waistline using your belly button. I highly recommend taking measurements under your chest, so right where the top of your ribs or base of your sternum is. And then your chest, which is your nipple line. When you take the measurements of your chest, you're going to put your arms at your sides in order to do so, so that your lats aren't making you bigger around that part of your body. You've grabbed the tape, put it around, put your arms at your side. You're going to write those down in inches, and you're going to consistently do those every week. You're going to repeat this same day every week, same time, first thing in the morning, after you pee, with maybe, naked, get on that scale. When you take the pictures, wear the same clothes, the same bathing suit, the same underwear and bra, so that you're not changing how you look in the pictures. You can compare them very easily. Taking them in this bright lighting, you want to see your whole foot to the top of your head. You want the pictures straight on. You don't want them coming down or going up or from the side. You want it to be very clear. So now you've got your tools for measurement. I highly also recommend body composition, but if you don't have someone that can do that for you, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So now we've got some systems into place. This is fabulous. Your next one you're going to do is you're going to print off a weekly calendar. And you're going to print off one for every week of the month, and you're going to have them ready. Now, on the same day that you take your pictures and you take your measurements and you get on that scale, you're going to sit down and you're going to look at your calendar. You're going to schedule the days that you're going to meal prep, that you're going to grocery shop. You're going to put it on a calendar, and then you're going to put that calendar also in plain sight to where you can see it. That way you hold yourself accountable. I don't want you to jump in too fast, but if you feel like you're okay and ready and need that movement as well, because they always go beautiful together, before we jump into weightlifting and everything else, I'm going to say on that calendar, schedule walks. Schedule 2 to 3 30-minute walks. Schedule them. Just like you would your child's dentist appointment, just like you would your doctor's appointment, just like you would anything else in your life, schedule yourself. You're going to be 80% more effective by putting it on a calendar, scheduling it, and even more effective by having it then somewhere in eyesight to commit to it. Don't just put it on your phone, put it in your phone, send a reminder so you see it, but then have it written out where you can see it. You're going to start with these steps, and then you're going to get ready to watch the next video on how to progress. I am super excited for you for long-term results. We will get into fad diets, we will get into numerous other subjects, but right now, just get rid of all that stuff and start there. I look forward to more videos to come and to working with you on your journey of better health, mind, body, and soul. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Happy health, happy training. Right now I'm using a tripod. So what I'm going to do is I'm bringing you up here with me, and I'm putting us in front of the bathroom door. I've got it on a chair, and I'm just coming back. So now I'm bringing it down to waist level. All right. So what I'm going to do is you have to take off baggy clothes. The best thing to do is to do this in a bathing suit, a sports bra, and underwear, but the same thing as I mentioned every week. So I have a treadmill here, so I can't really put the camera straight on, so you're going to see you're on a bit of an angle, but what I'm looking for you to do is to have it straight on in front of you, as I mentioned, just about waist height. I've now got a measuring tape, and what we're going to do here is there's centimeters and there's inches. We're going to use the inch side. Now, pictures first. I'm going to start in the door as I explained with the camera. You can put your hands up or out. Just keep your pictures the same. Legs slightly apart so we can see the changes in the thigh. You'll notice my full feet is showing, so is my head. If you don't want your head in it, you can crop it after, or just put it so that only your chin's in it if you're not comfortable. You also can save them to one of your folders. They don't have to be on your phone. So you're going to take your pictures like this, but you're straight on. You'll notice I'm in the door frame because in a door frame we can always see the same spot. If I went from here one week and in front of a red the next week, those changes and little details are going to be harder to dial in. So if I were looking at you in the middle of the door frame, this is what I would be like, or here. And smile or look down, because like me, that's where my pictures started, or off like this because I didn't want to look at the camera. But again, you have to learn to love yourself. It's a good relationship to have, and it is part of your journey. The next one is from the side, okay? Now again, you're straight on, like so, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna turn a bit. My hands are at the front, and I'm up, and don't slouch. Stand nice and tall, but not like holding your stomach in and squeezing your muscles. Just do you, it's okay. Next one, you're gonna turn to the back. If you have long hair, pull it forward. You can either you want the legs apart again slightly so we can see the changes in the inner thigh. Your hands are either like this or on the back of your head. Okay, and then lastly, you're gonna go again to the other side. Just be you, hands out, no tucking and slouching, and do you. And then smile and be proud for doing it. Good, so there's your pictures. Next, measurements. So you're gonna put your hands at your thighs, okay, at your sides. What I want you to do is approximate. We're all different. If you have really long arms and they're way down here, I highly suggest I just kind of use, because for me, that's the highest part of my thigh. For you, it might be the end of your thumb if you're tall, okay? But just use a marker so you can measure in the same spot every week. So I'm then going to grab my measuring tape on the inch side. I'm going around the back of my thigh to the front. And this is interesting to have your camera or stand in front of a mirror while you're doing, to make sure that the tape isn't going down on an angle, that it's straight. Then you're gonna stand, make sure that you're in that position. So I lied a little bit. For me, it's my where my thumb starts, at my thumb knuckle. So I lied a bit. For me, it's actually at my mid-thumb joint that I do my measurements. Next, once that's done, you write it down. Next, you're putting your feet together. You're gonna go in the widest part of your bum around the front. So for this area, I go at where the base of my hip crease is. I get it ready. I put it on. My feet are together because you're going to be bigger if your feet are apart. Okay, so feet together, knees together. And then I slide it down, same thing. Look so that it's straight. Widest part of your glutes, your booty, your bum. Don't overly squeeze, just let the tape be loose. Measure it, done, and then write it down. Okay, next, you're going to go around. I use my belly button line, my waist. So just wherever the tape naturally falls in our figures, but the belly button's my line. And I put it on, don't slouch, just stand up, take a deep breath in, and relax. Then look at the tape and write that number down. The next one I use is at the base of the sternum. Okay, so under the chest. So it's where you can feel your rib cage come up and loop down, okay? Take that, look at the measurement, or in this case, I mean, I can see, I don't have that problem, you may not be able to. So you just wanna mark where you feel the tape is, and then pull it off and mark that number down, okay? Next, we wanna do the chest. So for this one, we're doing the chest line, so the nipple line. So you're just gonna pull the tape in here. Now you'll notice my arms are up, so it's actually gonna be bigger. So now once I have it in place, I wanna drop my arms to the side I don't want to squeeze and put pressure on it. I want the tape just to be comfortable and loose, not pinching and squeezing and making indents. And then again, I'm just going to mark that with my finger, come off, and write that number down. Next is your biceps. So you're going to go around your bicep, the outside here, like so. I use the center bicep so that I know where I'm marking each and every time. I fold the tape, and I'm using my center bicep. I pinch it with my finger, and then I know the number. It's easier to have somebody do this for you. If you're comfortable, just have them do it. Work through with the video on where you're taking those measurements. Write it down, write the date you took them. Keep it in a record for you to look at. I recommend a little book or making a note in your phone or on your computer, somewhere you can go every week. If you're working with a coach, they'll likely give you an Excel sheet or a tracking sheet for you to give to them every week with those measurements. So here is where you start. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate reaching out to me. I'm happy to help. And remember, this is progress. It's baby steps that will lead you to long-term lasting results. Long results take time. Be patient with yourself. Love yourself. Embrace the process. You've got this, and everything you need is in here. And there's no such thing as failing when you're taking all the steps you need to consistently move forward. If you make a mistake at one point and you eat this or eat off that, just pick up where you were. Don't starve yourself. Don't do any crazy stuff. Just start fresh and carry on like it never even happened. And then go through the next day. And use things like sayings like, when you're faced with something that's going to throw you off track, go, I'm not eating that, I'm eating healthier, I'm not quitting on myself. Strong statements, and you can use the same one every time to break that habit of reaching for something, and just say it with affirmation. My body deserves better, I'm a healthy person, wouldn't grab this, I'm not quitting on myself, I don't need that. Don't make excuses to have it. Be strong in your affirmations to not pick it up, and why or how it won't benefit you. You've got this. One day at a time. Happy health. Have a great day.